Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. My name is Bahamut. We are here in Division A West, and I am joined by Doa. How are you this evening, my friend?
Yo, I'm really good. I can only stick around for one game. I wish I could stick around for more, but I'm happy to check out what is going on in this particular one. Probably not going to see Cho'Gall. I'm with you. I want to see it, but you know, we'll have to just be happy with what we get.
We did have some Cho'Gall talk earlier. I mean, it's Infernal Shrines. It definitely is the map that we could be seeing Cho'Gall, but for anyone at home wondering how we might have gotten to Infernal Shrines, let me get you caught up on that information, as one of my team names did not load properly, but we'll fix that later. Either way, the members of the Baby Makers lost the coin flip. They were given map pick priority for game number 1, banning out Braxis Holdout and Dragonshire. Tomb of the Spider Queen and Hanamura were banned out by the members of Forge the Winning Condition. They chose first pick priority for game number 1, giving map pick over to Baby Makers, choosing Infernal Shrines. We're back in our draft here, Doa, and let's go ahead. What are your thoughts here for Infernal Shrines? What would you prioritize? I know we're getting through the bans, but let's talk. What would you prioritize, maybe first pick wise?
Oh, first pick. I mean, I'm just getting back into this after being out for a while, but I watched a lot. Oh my goodness, Cho was banned. They didn't want to risk it, but what I was seeming to learn from some of the CCL exhibition matches that I was watching this weekend is that Chromie seems like a very contentious pick right now, where if you don't ban it, you kind of have to accept that a lot of people are going to try to first pick it. But I'm not sure if that applies to Infernal Shrines or not. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I was double checking the chat. Which character did you say for first pick priority?
Oh, Chromie.
Chromie, oh my god, absolutely. So I think Chromie, much like Mephisto as well, they work really well for Infernal Shrines because of the fact that they have all this artillery or this dive potential. Mephisto I like a lot because of the ability to use the Shade of Mephisto, so you can jump in and then use your Lightning Nova to get some skeletal defenders with your AoE, and then maybe throw a Skull Missile as you kind of fade back into your normal form. So I like Mephisto for that kind of pop-in factor, but Chromie is such a devastating factor because she can do the same thing, but she never actually has to physically put themselves in that shrine to get the extra value. They just dump sand from a distance. So absolutely, I would say there's a high priority for Chromie, especially in her current state in the meta. Like I think she's a wonderful hero to ban or first pick. But we are going to get back into our game here really quickly. It looks like there was a bit of a ban issue at the start, so they're just going to redo the lobby so we have the proper bans, and we'll get underway in just a second. Oh, they're asking for ready. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, so we saw a couple bans there. So you're saying Chromie is something that you'd prioritize. Anything else that like you just even personally like when you go to Infernal Shrines, you're like, oh, I want to play this hero. Like this is the hero for me.
I don't have anything in particular right now. I mean, I've just been kind of learning some of the supports that, or I guess I should say healers that weren't in the game back when I played a lot more. So I've just been playing a lot of Ana. If I can get my hands on Ana, I feel pretty confident as far as carrying my scrub team at my scrub league level.
It's true. Ana has such value, being able to just the Biotic Grenade for the amplified healing. You have your just healing darts, and you can. There's so many talents you can go into. Like Smelling Salts is typically a big one that we often see because of the fact of just the slow and I believe root removal from that. And I really like that pickup.
Well, that's what I really love about Ana, is that when you get into some of the later tiers, you can get a lot of enhancements for your heal, obviously, that remove a lot of different types of crowd control. Which, you know, if you're pretty aware of what your enemy team is able to do, you're able to kind of tailor your build around that. And I think that's really neat, where there isn't necessarily like a straight up this is what you always build on Ana you know, tree. It's more reactionary, which I think is pretty cool.
I was hoping that the Cho'Gall ban wasn't the ban. I thought this was the real reason we were actually remaking lobbies, because they accidentally didn't want the Cho'Gall ban. That's unfortunately not the case, and we head into our first pick. Chromie is up and available, and personally, Doa, I think you're right in that. Like, I would be if I had a Chromie player, I would immediately be like, you gotta grab this, because it's not like she's super counterable. Like, Medivh's gone, so there's no backdoor potential. You just watch out for Genji Light Bomb sort of deal. I don't know. How do you feel about the Orphea?
Well, I know Orphea is popular right now, but do you think she's really first pick worthy? Especially when you look at like a Diva, which after the Diva remake, she seems insanely strong. So I'm gonna turn that back around on you, because you can probably answer better than me right now. Honestly, is that just from the little bit I've been watching lately, Diva seems like a higher priority than an Orphea would be, but you never know. Maybe it's down to the team, the player preferences, but
yeah.
I'm a little bit surprised already.
It is a surprising first pick. It's not something we often see. In the Cho'Gall setup, sometimes the mages were actually earlier prioritized, so you can grab like an Ana as well. That will be removed and grabbed by the members of Baby Makers on the left-hand side, so no nano boost into the Orphea for the increased spell power, but she offers some good shrine clear, and this, I think you might have hit it initially.
Yeah,
this just might be a comfort pick for the members of our red team.
True. I mean, and you know, it's all about like safety too, right? Where you know, if you're gonna feel like you're gonna be able to get a lot faster clear than your opponent, and also kind of stay a little bit farther away, if you're not very confident on your positioning, then you know, better to go with that safety pick, I suppose. But I don't know, blue team's looking really strong. Like D.Va, Ana, that's a really strong duo right off the bat. You know, ETC, that was one of the launch heroes like way back when. And it's cool to see him still, you know, meta. But with that kit, he's just so good. He's like just one of the best engaged tanks ever. So how can you not pick him? He's
actually got an insane level 13 right now that I'm surprised that some people don't actually pick it up. The level 13 is Encore, and on the PTR, it had an 8% cooldown reduction on the heroic for every face melt that hit a hero, and also the boombox that was left behind. So at that state, it was a 9.6 second cooldown per hero hit. But you basically get hit the same hero with your face melt and the boombox, and you'd get what, like 19.2 seconds of cooldown reduction off of 120 seconds. Like, that's massive. That is massive.
That's not bad at all.
So they tuned it down to 6%, so it's at 7.2 seconds, but that's still quite a bit for an ETC, and that's why we're also seeing a major resurgence as him in being a high priority hero. The Anduin's just strong overall with the follow-up with the Chastise Lockdown, and even Leap of Faith is a great tool if maybe someone overextends. But this Greymane Garrosh, I love this here, Doa, because you have good dive, and you have also setup with the Garrosh as well.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're the type of player that can complete the quest really quickly, so much the better, right? I know from my game recently that I am not the type of player that can do that. But, you know, it just gives me all the more respect for good Garrosh players.
Ooh, I was not expecting a Zeratul, but I like this. Now, this means that we have, is this a solo lane Zeratul, a roaming Zeratul? Who's going to be in the solo lane? And they're, I'm assuming, going up against the D.Va, which... that's going to be a struggle, in my opinion, for our red team, for the members of Forge the Winning Condition.
Yeah, new D.Va seems very oppressive. Can I call her new D.Va? She's new D.Va. Recent rework. It's pretty new. Yeah, all right. So new D.Va does seem very oppressive in the meta right now. Ooh, and the Zarya. Okay.
Hyper carry Greymane, but I wouldn't even say hyper carry because I feel like D.Va could really be the hyper carry here. So
yeah,
like her damage output in pilot form is massive, and even in the mech form is just it can be oppressive. This will be a very interesting matchup, Doa. Any thoughts on just the overall compositions, and do you lean one way or the other?
I feel like Anduin always indicates trust issues, you know, on a team. But yeah, but I won't judge. We'll see what happens in the actual game. But red team seems a little bit more glass cannony, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You have the burst.
It's like the execution is going to be really important for red team, whose name is escaping me right now because I don't have the Twitch stream window open. FTWC.
Yes, Forge the Winning Condition.
I see.
But you're so right with that. They are very glass cannony, and they need this burst. Like, they're going to need the ETC power slide for the setup and the Chastise from Anduin. But the big thing on the opposing side is you have Biotic Grenade from Ana, you've got the shielding from Zarya, you've got Toss from Garrosh to get said person out. So there's so many defensive control tools for our blue team that if they just don't get, if they can save someone from being bursted consistently, this is an easy win for them, in my opinion. But we can go ahead and get on into game here on the left-hand side. We have got the members of our blue team, the members of Baby Makers. We have got Marbuckle on the D.Va, Dead Wish will be on the Zarya, Freckle Bob will be on the Ana, Paper Tanks on that Greymane, and Deshlibs, I'm not sure, is going to be on the Garrosh.
Desheebs,
yes.
Sheebs, maybe? I know in German, when you see an ear and eye next to each other, you pronounce whatever vowel comes first, but I have no idea.
My brain was like, it is definitely German, but I can't. Also, just to note, our red team is going to be the members of Forge the Winning Condition. We got Bob on the Vala, I think it's Visions on the ETC. Sturge is going to be on the Zeratul. We got Geo on that Anduin, and Mr. Bros, I believe, on the Orphea. Also, side note, Doe, if you'd like to lock to me, O or C are the hotkeys.
Oh, I would. All right, I will do exactly that. I'll hit O, and I will lock to your camera so I don't have to worry about it.
Easy enough, yeah. But it's just, we're gonna start out, and that's a toss on to Anduin immediately. They throw a Chastise backwards to just slow them down from stepping in as ETC zones back the Garrosh, and that's a nice disengage from the start here, Doa.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot of damage on Sheebs, but you don't want your Anduin getting close enough to have that happen anyway, I suppose, in a lot of cases. Yeah. So we talked about the execution, and oh my goodness.
The power
just like that.
Yeah,
like,
those power slides from ETC, they should be holding those consistently in case Garrosh looks for them in a toss.
Yeah. Well, that's just a really nice execute too, from like hitting the little knockup, getting the toss in.
Mm-hmm.
That's you. It's the range at which Garrosh can engage against you is always very deceptive. It seems like.
And even that, once they hit level 4 and they have Indomitable, where they basically have a self-cleanse every 40 seconds or so, you basically see them just hit Indomitable, rush into you. And we might even see Speed Barrier from the Zarya. This was an old combo that was run in the past quite a bit. Not as popular, but you throw the Speed Barrier onto the Garrosh and they have that increased base movement speed, and they can just run up into the enemy team. So I'm excited to see if we go in that direction. But right now, Doa, it seems like they might go for the invade. They're just going to scout it out.
Yep, looks that way. A little bit extra for red team now for them coming in, I guess. But it just seems like a lot of pressure being put on with some extra minions early. And, you know, if you can do that, if you can use that to maybe cause a little bit extra damage, cause somebody to go back, get that tiny little XP advantage, which they do have already, that can snowball, you know?
The big thing on, at least on Infernal Shrines, is the mid to bottom rotations. You want to consistently be able to grab that experience, but maybe even find a pick within it, as Deadwish and friends are trying to find this ETC, but just consistently they're holding that power slide to make sure they can stun them and get away from this. So Sturge maybe setting up for a dive into this mid lane?
Yeah, you know, the thing is, he's waiting the fog, so we'll see. All right, yeah, just kind of being a little bit annoying. I think he needs to worry too much about it. Looks like a little bit of a scuffle over the Bruiser camp right now. But, oh, they gotta be careful here. Oh, no. That was a huge throw.
Bob got stove. Sturge trying to split the team. Greymane looking for some extra damage, but they're gonna get a little healing from the Ana as ETC power slides in. Looking to lock them down and maybe help zone back the enemy team or peel so that way they can find Marbuckle as they're so low, but Zeratul ends up going down and Paper Tanks is traded out.
Yeah, I mean, at least he got one, right? But is it worth it? Are they still going to be able to come out on top of this? I don't know about that. Because, I mean, you traded, sure, but you're still one down. Do you think that was worth it?
It's... For the little bit of experience, yeah, it also forced them back. Like, I want to point out, though, Ana had the biggest sleep dart right there, because if Bob didn't get hit by that sleep dart, the Vala, they would have just... They would have had one more auto attack into Garrosh, so just a big sleep dart coming out from Freckle Bob into Bob to just lock things down. But we are here. First Punisher of the game will be bottom lane, and it will be Frozen.
Yep. Looks like it's going to be blue team. Has a nice big lead coming into this one. We'll see. All right. Voisin really has no qualms about getting in there aggressively, does he?
No, Sturge is trying to do the same. They pop their Gladiator's medallion. They're trying to walk away, but the Diva damage is too much as they pop their Mech Explosion. And I think the members of Forge the Win condition will be zoned away here, and this should be Babymakers taking first objective, Frozen Punisher, into bottom lane.
It's a really good self-destruct, actually, to zone there. And I mean, compositionally, we talked about red team being a little bit fragile. They're going to have to fend off this Punisher. The first one is never that bad, if I remember correctly, but still, you don't want to lose that one. But so when you look at the shrines on this map, one thing I've kind of always thought with this is that it can be difficult to sort of like get those high damage picks, right? And if you don't, and there's so many opportunities to not get those with all the damage denial on blue team, you're gonna have a lot of situations where you just can't muscle your way in on any of the shrines, you know?
Short distance leap of faith will save one as the Chastise comes out from Geo, locking down Garrosh. They pop their Indomitable to try and get past the ZTC, but the sustained damage from Vala is whittling them down. They might be able to find this kill. Bob vaults forward, but that was real risky, Doa. They could have just turned onto Bob and found the counter kill. Not the case, and they end up just backing off. Maybe a scuffle over the camp.
I mean, I like what Babymakers is doing overall, where they're playing it kind of defensively, you know? They know that in a straight-up fight, as long as they can deny a little bit of damage, that usually means that there's not going to be enough to complete the kill, it seems like. So if they can just... the tricky part, as you can see, is going to be having that poise. All right, he's going to run in for the throw and bob again.
Sturge is getting... Well, is actually finding everyone else so low around them. Oh my god, Desheeves is like 200 health at one point. Greymane was razor swiping near them to get out of there as well, and Bob on the Vala will be able to clear things out. Next Punisher will be Mortar in the top lane. Until then, I think it's just rotating and trying to find our 10 talent here for that next big power spike.
Yeah. Decent little XP league right now for Baby Makers, at least.
They actually, yeah, so I'm just going to cycle through the other numbers because we've been looking at our talents for a while, and I'm curious as to like what the damage is looking like on the D.Va.
Sure.
What is it, really quickly? Actually, only 5,000, but their siege is 55,000 on the opposing side. The closest is roughly 30. Great leap of faith.
Ooh. Yeah, great leap of faith to pull Bob out of danger there. That's what I'm talking about. That's the Anduin trust issues there. He was ready. So Sturge got spotted.
I like that though. I've never considered a team having trust issues, and that's why they're going for the Anduin. But I do like that motif now, and I think we'll start using that a little bit more. Speed barrier onto Sheeps as they find the Warlord's challenge, taunt, curse, bullet, everything being thrown into Geo as the Graviton Surge comes out, but it doesn't catch anyone. And Sturge.
Yeah, and Sturge in a lot of trouble too. Yeah, and I mean, if your Anduin gets tossed like that, there's no one to save him.
Yep.
So he can't leap himself away. So. You can't let that happen. We talked about that at the very beginning of the map, right? That like if you're playing Anduin, you can't be the guy getting grabbed by the Garrosh, you know?
You have to make sure that you're constantly back so that way you're just in a safe position, and they're going to go ahead and make sure that they get the fort in bottom lane, which will provide periodic catapult pressure and extra passive experience gain for the members of the Baby Makers as, yeah, they confirm this, and they're going to just fight. Yeah, Vision's... Voicen is going to be able to power slide away as the Eternal Feast comes out as well.
So you know what he tried?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, this is wild that they're actually re-engaging onto them.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the damage advantage, I suppose, but and they can get the chase. But you notice what the ETC, what Voicen keeps trying to do is he goes in and tries to like bait one of Baby Makers to walk forward to try to get this round, and then he power slides backwards in order to try to isolate that person for his team to get the pick, and it's almost worked a couple times.
Voicen's had some really, really good moments on this ETC. I've been glad that we've been able to catch quite a few of those moments of that setup for their team. I'm just quickly skimming through some of the talents as well, just to also note for anyone wondering, we have 36 out of the 40 Demolition Expert stacks on the Zarya, 14 out of the 50 for the Warbreaker for that Garrosh. The Void Hunter is finished out for, Shadow Hunter finished out for the Zeratul, and ETC at 17 out of the 20 on the Proc Rock. So a lot of good talents almost finished out, but we do have that Shadow Hunter, as noted beforehand, so they have cooldown reduction on their Blink with auto attacks and enemy heroes, but we're setting up for a fight over this shrine here, Doa.
Yeah, big lead already for Baby Makers, up 14-1 right now. So if they can just kind of keep FTWC at bay here, there's a throw into Voicen again. He's gonna go and pop the ult, looks like.
Light Bomb came back out, and they find the ETC kill. They toss the bomb into the enemy team with the into the fray from Garrosh right there, and they're going to find a triple kill on our blue team. Baby Makers should be able to confirm the Punisher.
I'm learning so much about Garrosh right now, actually. Because he's a cool hero. I've been trying to play him a little bit more, and I'm terrible, but I feel like I'm learning a lot more about how to engage right now from Desheeves.
The cool thing that I noticed... and that was actually the Nexus Forces finding Zeratul, I want to say in bottom lane or something. Either way, the cool thing that I've seen a lot of Garrosh players slowly learn and pick up as they're main tanking on Garrosh more and more is the toss behind into the Groundbreaker. That's not easy to do because you have to have your cursor obviously near the person that you want to toss, and you have to flip it to the other side. So it's very mechanical, but it's such a cool little thing just to get that chain CC, and then you can add in some extra flavor that these upper tier players are doing, where they do a Warlord's Challenge mid-air as well, because it does get them while they're in the mid-toss. It's so cool, Doa.
Yeah, I love the idea of like tossing the D.Va bomb too, like being able to reposition that with the talent later on, because that's something suddenly you'll have to be like really worried about. You think you're out of range, and suddenly Garrosh tosses it towards you again. Yeah.
They're actually going to toss them back. There's the Leap of Faith, so ETC just going to go for a bit of a flight right there. The Punisher through top lane will confirm the front gate, but I'd expect them just to back off here.
I feel like you kind of have to, right? Because that mortar damage, if you get caught by any of it, that's a good start. fight happening.
Mosh pit coming out. Graviton Surge will be there. Sturge is looking to get in the back line as Mr. Bob is trying to step in onto the Ana, excuse me, who does get thrown away. There's a Zeratul Void Prison that actually might have saved a couple members as Orphea and Vala will go down. Zeratul will get picked off, and Voisin is going to go down to the sustained damage from D.Va. Really well played from our blue team.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the kind of poise you need, it seems like, to make this comp work. And they're already walking onto the core here.
This is actually a really good call. They've got 4 kills. They've got 10 seconds plus on 4 members. They have good damage. They've got Greymane as well. This is a good attempt at core.
I think they might be able to just finish here.
Yeah,
they might have to kind of suicide a bit. I don't think. 1 second. Everybody's coming back right now. Can they save it?
Greymane's going to take a bit of a dance in front of the Hall of Storms, and they're almost going to go down, but that'll be game number 1 over to the Baby Makers. GG. Well played.
All right. Yeah, no kidding.
It was, yeah, this is...
That was fast.
Exactly. This is some grassroots for you here, Doa. This is, sometimes the games go super quick, and sometimes they go for half an hour. You never know.
Yeah, well, it was cool kind of looking at how those 2 team comps played out. I think you brought up something really important before the game began, and that there may have been like a lot of damage coming in from FTWC, but Baby Makers just had so many ways of denying that. And if you just deny like 1 character's damage out of red team in that case, then there's not going to be enough to finish the tanky team that Baby Makers were. So it was just well executed.
Yeah, they put together a real thick team, and it was just difficult to just chunk into them. Like, the Zarya had so many good moments of shielding, but the Ana healing was absolutely insane. 47,000 to the comparison of Anduin with 25,000. Just great healing coming out, and you noted it in the draft. Ana's not easy. She's a skill shot-based hero, and getting that much healing is big.
Yeah. It's as an Ana main in for a long time in Overwatch as well. Like it's interesting how you don't have to aim, but some of those skills translate really well as far as when to use like the biotic grenade and things like that. Knowing to use it, yeah, it's great for healing, but knowing to use it more offensively is really nice. Coming from Overwatch though, the only thing I wish my sleep darts pierced like they do in Heroes. That'd be nice.
One can only dream, but I don't want to keep you too long. I know you have some other things going on tonight, so thank you so much for joining me for the game, and we'll have to try and do this again in the future sometime.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you. You have a wonderful night, my friend.
You too. Later.
Bye. All right, everybody. Doa joined us for a little bit. Thank you so much to Doa for joining us for that game. They had they have some that's not how you spell caster. Co-caster. Go follow Doa on all the social medias. But that is just going to be, they joined us for 1 game. We were chatting earlier and they're like, hey, can I join in for 1? I'm like, absolutely. So, that'll be that. Also, by the way, OBS had this really, really cool update. So it's a little update and it's super exciting. Baby Makers versus, okay, cool. So we have our next map. Bed Gaming, thank you for the follow, or Ben Gaming. Sorry to anyone who's in chat and was saying hi to me earlier. Hi, everyone. Hi. I love you all. Hello. Doa, thank you for casting with us. Can we do on left and win condition on the right? Let me get my headphones off here. Make sure we also have audio. I just didn't want Doa to have to potentially hear themselves twice, so we wore headphones right there really quickly. All right. Everyone's going to swap sides. I just need to test something out, so give me 1 second. Or not test something. I need to change audio. Rid of the desktop. Where's my... There you are. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. All of that is set. We are going to have... I have to update 1 little thing, and then we will get going here into game number 2. So it looks like... they went for is... I don't think first pick set correct. They did this so... okay. Okay, cool. So we will be seeing Belith and Alarian in just a second. Cool. All right, I am all set to go. Let me just update my notes, and then we can get into our map number 2. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Cool. I updated everything correctly. I thought I didn't. Oh. Alrighty, everybody, let's get into draft. Welcome back into the Nexus Gaming series. My name is Bahamut. We find ourselves here on Battlefield of Eternity for our game number 2 of our first of 2 best of 3s of the evening. If you're sitting at home wondering where Doa went, I'd wonder as well. Now, they have some prior engagements. They just joined us for one game. But if you're wondering how we got to Battlefield of Eternity, I got you covered, my friends. The home team this evening is going to be the members of Babymakers. I'm totally not doing this on the fly. Professional caster. But Forge the Win Condition will be our opposing side. Forge the Win Condition won the coin flip, and they opted for first pick priority for game number 1. They banned out Tomb and Hanamura. Braxis, Holdout, and Dragonshire were banned out by the members of Babymakers. They took us to Infernal Shrines for game number 1 and won that. The losing team, the members of Forge the Winning Condition, can either choose first pick or map pick. They opted for map pick priority, and they chose to take us to Battlefield of Eternity, giving first pick priority over to the members of our blue team. Let's get back into the draft, as we are going to be seeing an ETC ban on the left-hand side immediately. And what else do we see here? We're on Battlefield, so we have a lot of race potential heroes, something like Greymane, Hanzo, Lunara sometimes. Valo's also a hot case as well, but this is going to be a Medivh ban. They don't want to deal with the Birdman here. And is this another Cho'Gall ban? Is this going to be? You said go, and Bandit was like, yeah, go now. Oh, how you doing, Simon? How you doing, Tara? How you doing, Trainwreck? Good to see all of you in chat. Sorry if I missed anybody. Thank you for hanging out, my friends. Imperius will be banned out, as they do not want to deal with the solo lane potential, as well as the Stabby Daddy, the Celestial Charge value that you can kind of set up and then really burst afterwards. So I really like that. Also, it does shut down things like Garrosh. You know, you do have Indomitable, but you can hold Celestial Charge for after that, and then maybe turn on the Garrosh who tries to step in and utilizing said Celestial Charge. So I like that play right there. Will be a Maiev ban, so Cho'Gall's up and available. This isn't the most popular map for them. Could be played, but we'll have to see. Don't you go Britain? Okay, I'm not. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm glad that they had fun. But D.Va will be the first pick on the left-hand side. I don't blame them whatsoever. The D.Va in the last game was really good. I really hope they go for Garrosh again, or I actually kind of hope that the members of Forge the Win Condition will ban out Garrosh, or excuse me, pick up Garrosh here to deny the, well, potential for the members of the enemy team. Okay. All right. Li Ming, Anubrak. I see the Anubrak, but I feel like there might be anti-synergy. There's potential for anti-synergy between the Li Ming and the Anubrak. Let's say they web wrap someone that Li Ming has the burst combo into, that could be, you know, the save that they need. And the members of Babymakers are not changing up anything. Their last composition works so well. Why change it up? If anything, I would say ban the Zarya here. Like, ban Zarya 100%. Zarya was actually really annoying, and if they plan to go into it, which they 100% still can go into that composition, get rid of it. You don't want that speed barrier, because that's 50% movement increase to the user or the person who's getting hit with the barrier. It's gotta be an Ana ban, which, I mean, the Ana was still strong in the last game as well, so they're denying them that healer. It's just that 50%. So for anyone that's wondering, 130% movement speed in Heroes of the Storm is your mount speed. The only way to increase beyond that is typically on a Pale Horse from Malthael, which increases your movement speed by 20% to 150. So by having a speed barrier, you are effectively moving 20% faster than your mount speed, so you can really chase people down. It's a short duration, but come on. I mean, I'm just gonna change your name to Baby Draft. I don't know. Anyways, 100% they ban Zarya. I would expect them to. Especially with the Greymane on the map. Exactly, Delta. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But either way, that will be no Zarya banned. The Ana was banned on the right-hand side. Li Ming to be grabbed. And let's see, what do we have on top of that? Artanis for the solo lane. So maybe some amateur opponent value for that race. Do we have any Raynor? Because Raynor does give you good sustained damage. They're gonna grab an Uther instead. Gives you more lockdown potential. Maybe we see Burrow Charge into Hammer of Justice, into an Impale, so we could be seeing single target lockdown bursts coming out from the members of Forge the Win Condition. Babymakers, though, last 2 picks. Honest to God, go Zarya Rhaegar. Go Zarya Rhaegar. Just go Bloodlust. Give us a Bloodlust composition. Why not? I actually think it could work out really, really well for them. We'll see what we end up getting here. It's actually going to be a Stukov instead. I don't hate the Stukov. You can utilize the Lurking Arm. You also have the Virulent Root. I can never remember the pronunciation of it. I think it's a level 13, so if you hit someone with your weighted pustule and then you get the Lurking Arm underneath them, they basically are rooted in place, and so there's just more setup potential for this Garrosh, but this is a bad guy Zul'jin coming in, donating some access to the enemy team's face. That's not a hero that I was expecting to see, but he is a good hero on Battlefield of Eternity, not something we see too often, but we'll see if Belith and Alarian are ready for the members of these teams as we head into Battlefield of Eternity here in just a second. What do you think, chat? Do you think that our blue team is just going to burst and be defensive and just too dummy thick again? Or will the members of our red team be able to find their way into this gray main, into the Zarya? Because it seems so difficult. Virulent reaction, I think. Virulent reaction. Thank you, Winback. How you doing, bud? Cheerios level 7, give everyone 40%. Oh, really? You are correct. You are right, Delta. There's that. I hope Zul'jin goes Q build, not Headhunter. I want Headhunter, I'll be honest. I'm not going to lie. But either way, let's get into game. On the left-hand side, we got the members of our blue team, the Baby Makers. Up 1 in our best-of-3 series. Paper Tanks will be on the gray main. Deshibs, I believe, is going to be on the Garrosh. Dead Wish will be on that Dancing Zarya. We've got Marbuckle on the Diva and Stukov to be played. Oops, sorry. My notebook is getting in the way. Stukov to be played by Freckle Bob. On the right-hand side, we have the members of our red team trying to take us to a game number 3. Forge the win condition is going to be having Sturge on the Artanis. We have Bob on the Zul'jin, Voisin on the Anubrak, Geo on that Uther, and Mr. Bros on the Li Ming. I haven't had a cigarette in like over 5 years, but still sometimes that Freudian slip will happen. No Headhunter. We are Q build, Grievous Throw. Chat is getting what they want here. Artanis is going to be Protector of Ire, not going to be going into the amateur opponent at level 1, which is typically what we see on this map because the fact that you do have the increased auto attack damage into the race for the Immortal Phase. Sorry about that. I think my speakers were a little bit too loud. The Gladiator's Medallion was used right there, and they will not be able to get out alive. So first blood going over to the members of our blue team as they take an advantageous rotation up to top lane and get a kill, bolstering their experience a little bit up, but they are going to lose a little on their front gate and bottom lane as the the red team Forge the win condition was like, we can see you in top, so let's go ahead and just get some value in bottom lane and at least trade out. So we might lose our Artanis, but maybe we get some siege as Uther gets the hammer onto 1. They'll just back off as Voisin's a little bit low here. Li Ming trying to throw out some arcane orbs here and there. They did make this pretty telegraphed in their rotation. I would expect them to kind of know that they're down over here, but we know that Garrosh is anchoring really, really well. Li Ming not going to throw a combo or anything. I'm showing vision just so you can get an idea of what they're looking at. As Sheaves is going to try and walk in and look for a toss, isn't going to be able to do so and just takes a little bit of damage from the enemy team as Zul'jin is working on those stacks. For anyone wondering what the reward is, at the 15 mark, which is 75 stacks for them, you will get 1.1 range increase on your auto attack based range. The 150 stacks or the 30, as we will see, it is going to be the double revolve on the cleave. So those little axes you see kind of shooting out from Bob's side here and there. So just keep an eye on those ones as well as the questing talent. Speaking of questing talents, we are going to be having our Artanis with the Protectors of Ire from level 1, and they're already at 24 stacks, which I believe is 2.4% if my caster math serves me correct on that. So keep you up to date on how that's affecting them. Actually, what is their auto attack speed, or excuse me, auto attack increase to? 127.8. What's Diva's? Just out of curiosity. 26.9. It's not a good comparison. Let's base off Zul'jin. 111. Okay. Zul'jin also scales based off of the amount of health they have. So maybe also not a good example. Either way, Garrosh is going to come up here. They're going to look for the toss. They do find Sheebs, and they're also, excuse me, Sheebs will be able to find it. I believe that's not Gladiator's Medallion. That's going to be the Indomitable used, as I think they were getting body blocked a little bit and made sure they didn't want to get slowed or maybe even swapped away by the Artanis. Bob going to continue to throw axes out. Paper is going to jump in, but the Uther is going to be over here, and that's enough to dissuade Paper Tanks from being aggressive. We do have the camp for top lane. Artanis pushing this out. Bottom lane to be cleared out. And we have Belith and Alarian arriving on the map as Belith will be burned down by the members of our blue team. For just say Cheeb. Thank you. I'll just say Cheeb. I'm trusting you here, chat. Sturge gonna get thrown by Cheeb. They're gonna get bopped around, I believe, or at least I think they attempted a swap. They're just doing their best to keep to get their trait off cooldown, and it wasn't able to get that. It wasn't able to proc the shielding as necessary. So Alarian now to be the one to be burned down by the members of our blue team, our red team, as actually the Forge the Wind condition being forced away, and they are gonna have Greymane off to the left-hand side, Belith to be burned down by said Greymane, as they're throwing a lot of axes into Cheebs, but they do not find enough damage for a kill. It's a good point to make. It is a killless game for them so far, so if they went into Headhunter, this just would have been this would have been a 0 value level 1 because you're not getting any of that percentages. Bob is going to get picked off right there. Really good toss from Cheebs and knock around from Marbuckle as the Immortal phase will go over to the side of our blue team. Alarian will be going down into bottom lane to push out in favor of the Baby Makers. Sturgeon top lane will do their best to push things back and also make sure this camp doesn't get much value. I'm just skimming through talents. We are going to be having the speed barrier at level 4 from the Zarya, so it's going to be the same kind of play from last game. I actually kind of hope that in CCL we might see some of this, because I think there's a lot of Garrosh play and we don't get a lot of Zarya, but Zarya Garrosh would be really, really cool to see. Like, honest to God, like seeing this composition in CCL would be really, really fun at like a high tier level. Not that these players are not executing it, just it's different when you're watching, you know, Cattle Garroshing with epic player maybe, or someone who's supporting for them. As Voisin's getting low, Bob is gonna back off on that Zul'jin. Look at the flank coming in from Sturge on the left-hand side. They're going for the swap. They won't be able to make anything happen. And now I think they just run back to top lane and say, I need to get out of here, because Diva's still pushing up the lane. As Alarian should confirm the fort in bottom. Actually, it's gonna be just shy of going down, 663. So can't have an Angel leaving something on the devil's number. They can rotate down here, though. Zarya should have at least 2 particle grenades that should be able to take this out, and they're kind of positioning to go for the well. They want to just get rid of the lane sustain, at least in bottom lane. Just going to eat some damage from Mr. Bros, as there's a toss onto Voisin, who burrow charges back. Cheebs is taking a lot of damage, and, Cheebs is taking a lot of damage and will go down, as they still don't get the fort, and Paper Tanks is going to be... Do they end up... they sidestep the magic missiles. Stun onto Freckle Bob, and the Arcane Orb will connect on their toe. A second one onto Zarya as Mr. Bros pops off and finds the front tower in the lower portion of this bottom lane. Meanwhile, in top lane, Sturge just continues to push things out as best as they can. Excited for your game against Uwu soon. We'll give that full name the good old one college try, and that's gonna be it for the. We'll shorten that somehow. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I can say that in the middle of a team fight too much. Relaxing after work. Definitely gonna have to hang out. Oh yes. Yeah. CCL games will be Saturday, Sunday this weekend. 1 o'clock PDT, 6 best of 3s, 6 maps on Saturday, 6 maps on Sunday, as you all wanted. Straight 3-game series, no best of 3s. Toss goes out onto the Anub'arak, as they also use, I believe there was a cleanse out from the Uther onto Zul'jin, as Bob takes the Gladiator's Medallion. The massive shove actually saves Geo, and Bob walks away with 60-some health, and this fort still lives with 100 itself. As Belith and Alarian have descended, and we have Zarya already, actually no, they're going to go for the defensive posture. I was thinking that Dead Wish was going to try and step into them, but not the case. They might go for the invade onto this camp on the right-hand side. No, they just poke at it. I think they saw them on there for a second. Sturge jumps on, and this is Dead Wish just like, cool, I'll just eat some of this damage on purpose, as they get thrown around. Sturge is split from the friendly team. Mecha Explosion kind of zones them back into this fight, as there's a lurking arm from Stukov underneath, blocking them down as well as silencing them. Voicing going to try and burrow charge that to look for the CC into one, but they're not able to, as Li Ming is disintegrating with their Disintegrate to try and find a reset, as Diva Mecha form is about to fall. They will be able to, I think that did give a reset to Li Ming, as they're going to just poke out onto this Immortal. Burrow charge away from Voisin just to be able to disengage and just increase that distance, as Greymane goes in and finds a kill. There was a cleanse out from Geo, but it's not enough to save him, and that will be the single target pick that they need. Greymane moves over to Belith and will begin to burn them down, as Alarian will be protected by the members of Baby Makers. Have they announced the teams? Yes, they have. I believe it was announced on Twitter. Yeah, they announced, I believe the rosters are public on Twitter today. because I have been seeing people posting about him. I just looked over and I realized Bandit has destroyed an entire toy. Just this one game. I think he was a little jealous of Doa, I'm not gonna lie. Blind onto the Immortal phase here from the Artanis as Disintegrate comes out from Li Ming. There will be a Graviton Surge from the Zarya to pull in a couple members and look for a potential burst as the Toss Dingo comes out from Zul'jin, turning things around to drop the Mecha form from the Diva as they're going to find a Garrosh, a Nubrek, Artanis. So many members will be going down. A bit of a trade. Greymane trying to step into Bob. They actually roll and disengage, looking for the auto attack into Bob, as well as Mr. Bros, who does throw a combo into Dead Wish. I believe most of that was eaten by the Zarya shielding, giving them some extra charge right there. But right now, I think it's just delaying things out till the Garrosh is back up for the members of the Baby Makers and for the members of Forge Esports. Forge the win condition. Same to be said for their Nubrek and their Artanis. As Freckle Bob rotates in over here, and they're just going straight up for the race. But I believe Paper Tanks and Dead Wish should be able to burn this down, and they will win the Immortal race very, very narrowly as they actually pop the... That was a really good stun from Uther into Cheebs. That would have been a toss groundbreaker single target potential pick right there if they were able to do so, but Geo has to hearth out as they have no mana. Most of it was used during the last engagement, and this enemy team pushing up with this Immortal, looking for a fort, maybe even a keep front gate. Death everywhere, yeah. Toss on to Voice and Warlord's challenge. They get chunked by the Dear Lord, by the Curse Bullet, as the Divine Shield will be used onto Li Ming to get them out of the Graviton Surge from Dead Wish, locking them down for a second. And Paper Tanks, I think they have their Inner Beast up. That's why you're kind of seeing this greenish glow around their skin. That's why they're also autoing and kind of stepping forward as Marbuckle is getting low, but they have their Mech Explosion boosting in. Throwing that there, Garrosh goes down. There's just going to be a zoning Mech Explosion out. Garrosh down for the next 27. This will be a Nubrek up in 3. I think they're just going to back off right now. They get the Keep Front Gate. They're pretty happy with that. And Artanis pushes out bottom lane, trying to close the experience gap that has formed between these two teams with the 11-6 in kills. Real good map awareness, or at least communication, coming out from the members of Forge the win conditions. Sturge was able to back out of bottom lane before the enemy team could potentially collapse on them, and this allows them just to get out of there, and they don't, well, give over a death, give over experience. They will have to give over this camp, but they can wait for that just to step into their lane, as the friendly team will be burning through a camp into top, and that allows them to have some offset pressure. Diva coming up here, but do they see this entire... Yeah, I think they do. I was gonna say, do they see this entire team? They're just gonna play it safe. They throw some micro missiles back into the Nubrek. Watch the mini-map, though. You can see them actually coming up here on the left-hand side, but did Artanis spot them? I think, yeah, you can see some pings coming out, so... I think they did get noticed. There's the speed barrier. They're going to step into 2. They have the Warlord's challenge. They throw the Graviton Surge underneath them to continue the lockdown onto 3. They toss Paper Tanks out just to keep them out of this engagement for a second or two, as that'll be Garrosh, a Nubrek traded out. Tank for tank. Marbuckle so low is going to be able to get the shielding from Zarya, which gives them the slight movement speed they need to just get away from the Li Ming damage. Bottom lane, we do have our Impaler camp as well as a Catapult arriving and pushing into the lane. 190 damage from the Catapult right now as Greymane sniffing out the Li Ming, but they're not gonna go for any sort of dive into them. Triple Warlord's challenge, yeah, that was a big Warlord's. So it's Verluent. Reaction, do I have that right? Oh my god, Trainwreck, thank you for gifting a sub to Megan, 420. Megan 420, enjoy your gifted sub. What's the button again? Is it this one? There you go, Megan. Warlord's challenge onto 2. Jeeves is taking so much damage as they pop their Indomitable, trying to walk out. The Nubrek will get hit with the Divine Shield, trying to keep them alive here. Zul'jin does go down. There's a blind out from Artanis to buy some time from those auto attack damagers. As Marbuckle is being chased in their pilot form, they drop the mech. They're able to get back into it, and now this fight continues. No one going down except for the Zul'jin on the right-hand side. There's a lurking arm. There's a cleanse out onto Paper Tanks. A Nubrek is not taking damage as Greymane actually now finds that last little bit. Geo goes down. Sturge will be melted by the Zarya beam, and this will be Diva chasing onto Mr. Bros, who gets decimated by the micro missiles. Uther Ghost Form goes down right there. All 5 members of the red team to be wiped. Forge, the win conditions, will be having to sit defensively for this next Immortal phase, as Beleth and Alarian will trade spots, and this is actually race potential in favor for the blue team, especially with their positioning right now. They should have this done and pushing into, I think, bottom lane, yes, because bottom is the more well-defended lane, so Alarian should be pushing down there. Virulent, thank you. Sorry, my brain, like, I don't know why, but I look at these letters and it's just like, I don't know. Thank you, chat. I love you so much, Transistor. Thank you for helping me out. Thank you, Lanterns, as well. Virulent. Virulent. See, is it... Oh, God, there's too many ways. Fully shielded Immortal and through bottom lane. Can the members of Babymakers take a 2-0 series, or will this be a Forge the Win condition, just being able to force them back right now? Artanis going for the swap onto Marbuckle. There's a Curse Bullet out onto the opposing side. There was a massive shove as well. So far, it's just a lot of chaos, but no one really going down. 16 talent here is a little off for the members of Forge the Win condition. They're still looking for that. As Voisin's going to get thrown around, the Divine Shield goes onto them. Uther, well, there's the web wrap onto Frecklebob. There's just everything happening right now. Leeming is getting reset after reset, another massive shove. And this is actually what they needed. They do lose the keep in bottom lane, which is going to be bad for them, but they're going to be able to sustain this game, and they will not be losing out just yet. Maybe a little bit of shielding onto their core, but this is very well played from Forge the Win condition. Virulent. Now we're just changing the phonetic pronunciation for me. Virulent? Oh my god, there's so many different pronunciations, chat. I think D.Va should get the bop in the next patch. D.Va needs to get bopped in the next patch. Not hard, not by much, but I think she needs to get bopped some way, shape, or form. I haven't played her enough to make an argument as to what. Let's see. Isn't there armor reduction or something? Target lock wouldn't be a bad thing to nerf. I think Full Metal and Liquid Cooling can be nerfed at level 1 as well. That might help out a little bit. I think she's just got, like, it's not like she's not busted, but she's got a lot of really good talents right now. And if you pick them, you're in a pretty healthy spot, but you don't win the game by any means. Chief's trying to get out of here. There's a massive Warlord's challenge. They still go down. Graviton Surge from Zarya pulling in 1. It's not going to slow them down enough as Frecklebob's trying to back off. The Danger Pings go in around the Greymane as they get locked in place, and they get this shielding from Zarya to get the speed boost out. This is D.Va now down in bottom lane. They actually had to leave the top lane. That will allow the Impaler camp to finish out this fort, and they will lose that out. The Forge the win condition, forging some sort of win condition in game number 2 here. Violan? Okay, alright, now I think you're just messing with me, chat. I feel like everyone's just like, alright, give him a slightly different phonetic pronunciation. I love you all, thank you for helping me out. D.Va should be able to clear things out. No, 31 health, and Sturge just ends that right there. D.Va worked so hard to keep the fort up and alive, and then Sturge is like, nah, brah, just watch this real quick. Bob and friends will work on this Immortal, and this should burn down in favor for the members of our red team. Forge the win condition will take the first half of the Immortal race phase, as they can just jump onto Alarian and try and find that Immortal for themselves. This would be their first one of the game, and this should push into top lane, because it is the more well-defended lane. They need to step into this. This is actually massive for our red team right now. There's a bunch of damage just being thrown into Voisin, who gets the burrow charge out. The Immortal is going to go over to the members of our blue team. As Sturge is getting low, Divine Shield will make it in range to them. This is Mr. Marbuckle. Marbuckle. Mr. Bros and Marbuckle were throwing me off. Also, Bob and Frecklebob were throwing me off. But Immortal goes into top lane. We have Catapult in bottom, but there is one to match. So 3 out of 8 and an auto currently for these Catapults. But these will be more consistent in favor for the members of the blue team, as they do have a keep down in that bottom lane. So we'll be spawning a Catapult every wave rather than periodically. I talked about this a while ago, and we'll talk about it after this series, but I'm curious what you all think about, like, in League and Dota, like, you have the inhibitors, like, when you get rid of them, you get, like, super minions. I wonder if Heroes ever did, like, an anomaly like that. Like, you get all 3 keeps down, you get, like, you don't get regular catapults, like, you get super catapults, because all 3 catapults are down. I don't know. Thought. Anyways, Voisin's gonna be thrown out, but they're gonna burrow charge back. They're being thrown around. They're going to burrow charge away. There's the mecha explosion from D.Va. So much is happening right now. No one really going down. The Immortal still fairly healthy. Pushing onto this keep right now is going to be just below half. Bob's still throwing some autos out as I think this is Garrosh trying to step in, who's going to get annihilated. There's a reset for Li Ming. Swap attempted by the Artanis, but not going to connect as the top lane keep goes down. And this red team's looking to potentially end right now and take us to a game number 3, but they decide, you know what? Our Immortal's low. We don't want to step. No, actually, no. Their Immortal goes down, but they still are looking to end game. Garrosh is the only one dead for the next 42 seconds. They're going to burn through Voice, and that was I just don't know where that Nubarak went. They were squashed literally like a bug as Sturge goes down. This is going a little south for the members of our red team. They do end up blinking away. Trying to look at gray main talents right now. Is this just Blunderbuss? Yeah. They could just rush bottom. They got 3 catapults. They could just look to end game, but D.Va wants this. D.Va wants to at least maybe they're just trying to stop them from hearthing. I'm not 100% sure what the game plan is for our blue team. They're just looking to play the map. Doesn't look like they're trying to end right now. I thought that they would try and attempt to. Maybe it's just too tense of a moment. So they're like, you know what? Let's pause. We still have 1 keep. We can just manage our top lane. We'll just breathe a little bit and maybe take their top. No, they're not going to take the top lane keep. They're just going to add pressure and wait for the next Immortal phase. Nothing wrong with that. Just I was expecting a little more aggro out from them, but I guess with the D.Va Zul'jin, they're a little the Li Ming Zul'jin, they're a little afraid of the reset damage burst potential from them. I don't know. Sorry, raising air because I had to get water. All right. They're looking to push this wave in. Our chance is down for the next 2 seconds. The Nubarak's up. They need to be careful here. They're looking to chase in. They get the Gladiator's Medallion out of Bob. That was the cleanse used right there because Garrosh had that speed barrier trying to chase in and get the toss combo to burst down the Zul'jin and look for a staggered death just as the Artanis gets back alive. But this is maybe an overextension because Cheebs has been bursted down quite a bit here when they try and step into these moments, and I think they back off. They look for positioning on the Immortal race phase. For anyone wondering, the icons are going to be typical of the blue team, so this will be race on the left and defense on the right for them. If we were to swap vision, it would go to defense on the right and race on the left-hand side. Toss goes out onto the Artanis. They're looking to burst down Sturge, who does drop their... everything happening right now. They get the suppression pulse off. There's also going to be the... Graviton Surge on the right-hand side, Mecha Explosion, just so much is happening. A Nubarak goes down on the top left of our screen as there's a toss onto Sturge once again. Bob is looking to get the damage into Zul'jin, who pops the Toss Dingo, keeping themselves alive for now, getting hit with the micro missiles, but they actually don't even finish the Immortal phase. They say, cool, we have the Artanis down, we have the Nubarak down, let's rush bottom lane, and let's take this series in a 2-0 fashion. Wow. Toss goes out. Geo's gonna get bursted here. They don't get the Divine Shield off in time. Are they, no, they're Bulwark. So unfortunately not gonna be able to get that out in time, so that will be Core being, well, Paper Tanks is doing their best to rush through this. Tostingo comes out from Zul'jin. You can still be stunned and that will end, and they end up going down. The Core, now being besieged by these catapults, will be burned. And that will be game number 2. Over to the side of our blue team. They take the series in a 2-0 fashion. GG. Well played. Just a Golden Bear, thank you for the follow. Once again, Trainwreck, thank you for the gifted sub. Yo, do we watch the political debate until our next NGS game? Why are you such a weird... Y'all, you have no idea. Like, this dog is afraid of, like, he was afraid of the tripod for the camera mount, for his camera, and right now he's, like, sleeping with his paw on it. It's adorable. Love how Paper Tanks surged at the end. Honestly, I don't know how they let this composition through twice. Yeah. 1 player to lobby 1. All right, we're gonna get an interview with one of the players here in just a second. Let me get into NGS, lobby 1, mute myself, deafen myself. Cool. Please no, I don't know. We're not going to, Hop Mamas. What time is your next match? In 58 minutes from now. I got some replays. I think we're gonna do some community replays. But at this time, we're gonna be joined by Deadwish. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory. How you feeling?
Oh, thank you. There's some awkward games. We've never run the comp before, but it ended out turning well. So.
Oh, wait, are you serious right now?
Yeah, we've never run that.
Holy crap, that was so well done. Like I don't want to take anything away from the opposing side, but like y'all killed that composition. Like. I can't, like, can we talk, what were your comms like in draft for game number 2? Because, like, chat and I were sitting here like, there's no way that they're going to be, like, there's no way they're going to let through Zarya in game number 2 after game number 1. Like, what were comms like when you basically got your exact draft you wanted?
So we weren't even looking at Zarya at first. At first I was thinking about Genji Light Bomb, because this is all stuff we've never done. We try to stick to, like, my Ed Medivh camps, but they just banned it out, so we decided to go. Just kind of try some stuff out. But we saw that they gave it to us again, and everything synergized too well, so we just decided to take it at the last second.
No, that's really cool. Like I'm glad we got to see that. Can you talk a little bit about your Greymane, or not your Greymane? Sorry, Paper Tinks was the one who asked for the interview. What I want to ask you is, holy crap, Alora, thank you for the raid. You played in the CCL this past weekend, correct? You were the Deadwish who had the Medivh plays on. I want to say it was Infernal.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, first off, because we didn't get to interview you, holy crap, you had some really good plays this weekend. Like, I was casting and watching, like, you absolutely destroyed it. Like, that was really cool to watch. So it makes sense why we saw the Medivh being banned out against you every single game. What I want to ask you, though, is did you actually think about Cho'Gall in game number 1? Is that something that you guys do, or that they do, excuse me?
So we looked at some of their matches, and we saw that they liked Cho'Gall, so we just banned it out. Cho'Gall's never really a part of our strategy. I know you love Cho'Gall.
Oh, gotta love it.
But we don't play it much. So we never thought about it. But yeah, I also appreciate the compliments.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, you had some phenomenal plays last over the weekend. I believe it was Saturday, I believe you played, or excuse me, Sunday. And just same thing today, some amazing plays. Your team seems really well synergized. Have you been together for a long time?
Well, we've played, not really. So we played one season in Heroes Lounge before this, and this is our first time playing this. And our Nexus gaming, yeah, first time.
Well, sorry, I just found out from chat that you were a little bit low, so I boosted you right at the end right there. But before I let you run out of here, any shouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours, my friend.
No, just the team. We kind of adapted. We almost threw the last game really hard, but we turned it around. The other team, even though they ban my characters every time, I'm used to them. You guys, thanks for casting. Thanks for the series, for streaming. The audience for watching. Thanks for everything.
Oh, thank you for joining me. Congratulations on your 2-0 victory, and I look forward to seeing you all further down in the season for NGS. You have a great night, my friend.
Yeah, you too.